I think that we've all done it. I know that I've done it. I know that a lot of lovies around me have done it. And it's the fact of overcrowding your garden. Okay. So over here, we like to talk about our life being a garden. So we have the garden of our lives. And if it's your first time, hey, it's me, Marie, and I'm here on my journey in my life garden. I'm learning, I'm discovering, I'm learning more about who I am, discovering more about who I am. I'm tending to this garden, and I'm allowing you guys, I'm inviting you guys to come on this journey with me. And I hope you do the same. I hope that you understand that you too have a garden of life, your life's garden that you are here to cultivate, and are here to grow and to maintenance and maintain, I guess, maintenance. I don't know. Y'all, words are hard. But and I too hope that you invite me along your journey, because the fact of the matter is we're not doing this alone. A lot of times we go through the same things. We go through the same pain points. We go through the same thoughts sometimes. And we're like, maybe we're not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I misheard. Maybe I am what they say I am. And those things. And then let's just not always talk about the negative. Maybe this is going to be great. Maybe I'm awesome. Maybe I'm ready for this. Maybe I'm excited. Maybe I got the rest that I needed. Maybe I am going to nail this. I'm going to hit this out the park. All of the wonderful metaphors. Just maybe. Or I'm celebrating everything that I have accomplished so far. I'm celebrating all of the beautiful flowers that are growing in my life. I'm celebrating all the harvest that I've had in my life's garden that has helped grow somebody else. And not only am I growing my life garden, but I'm helping to pollinate, helping to grow other gardens as well. However, sometimes we tend to overcrowd that garden. And it's not always overcrowding with negative things. Maybe it's overhelping. That's my number one. Overhelping. That is my number one fruit that just grows out of control. It's like you plant one seed and you get like a harvest of 1,000. And instead of me picking what I need, harvesting what I need, I just let it grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until I am burnt out, until I am overwhelmed myself. It's funny that I help overwhelm moms, and then I tend to become overwhelmed because I'm overhelping. That's weird. That concept is so diabolical. But everybody needs the boundaries, and we talked about that too, the boundaries of our gardens, and letting you know when to stop, letting you know when to say, "Ooh, I am I need a reset. I need to pause. I need to step back. I need to recalibrate my soil, turn it up a bit, toss and turn it. Maybe I need to rest my garden for a while. Whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. I tend to pick up too many responsibilities. I tend to have too many commitments. I tend to have... I don't know if that's me, but a lot of people has a lot of expectations for me. Isn't that crazy? And then for me, it's not too many voices. Some people have too many voices in their ear. And they may be saying good stuff, but is it righteous in your season? So righteous and good is two different things. Righteous is being right with God, being in alignment. Doing good is just doing good, right? However, sometimes we can't just go around doing good if we're not righteous, if we're not in alignment to what our assignment is for the season. Because the fact of the matter is, even good can crowd your God-given seeds of assignment. And we talk about this a lot. And I want people to understand that just because it's good doesn't mean you're assigned to it. Just because it's good, just because you're helping, doesn't mean you are supposed to pick that up and help. Just because you can, don't mean you're supposed to. Ooh, that hit home hard, honey, because I'm talking to myself. So even the good plants can compete, okay? So a garden can be filled with healthy plants, but if there are too many, none of them thrive. Have you ever seen like a vine overtake something or choke out another plant because it's just too many? Have you ever had like a big old and y'all, I'm a gardener in my heart and I see gardens and my best friend has one. So I live vicariously through her and her garden. It's the bugs for me. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're gonna get there. But my life, I know how to garden my life. Yeah. So it's like the bugs in my garden of life. I know either they're fertilizing and they can stay, like your worms in your garden. They're making holes of irrigation, making sure that everything is watered and all these things. I don't. And the other bugs in my life garden, the ones that are not supposed to be there, I have to take them out because they'll eat up the whole crop, and there'll be none left to share with community, family, the people that you love. So a lot of the good plants can look like doing everything. Hey, guilty. Helping everyone, guilty. Being everything to everyone. Y'all, that's exhausting. That is exhausting. That is exhausting, and that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And that's a lot of pressure to have someone put on you as well. Even when I married my husband, he told me that you're my everything. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. No, take it back. I understand. I understand your intentions behind that, and I know that I am very important in my life, just like I'm very important in his life, just like he's very important in my life. But those particular words just threw me. I don't want to be everything to somebody. I don't want to be somebody's world. To me, that gets me nervous. That's too much pressure. And I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I'll be like, I gotta be perfect for that person. I gotta be on all the time. It's like I have to be 24/7 availability, and I don't have that. When am I gonna rest? When am I gonna renew? When am I gonna rejuvenate? So that I'm not pouring from an empty cup, like we talked about in another video. I'm actually pouring from overflow. I need the rest. I need the reset. Reset. I need the time to renew. And I get that a lot with him. So, but I did tell him because I don't want to be someone's idol either. So even though I love the sentiment behind what he said, and I love the sentiment behind other lovies that I'm in their life and they are thankful that I'm there, and I'm thankful that I'm there, but I cannot I cannot be anybody's everything, because then where does that leave God in your life? And then I don't want our relationship to have to be apart because you're not leaving room for God. And I know in my own life, in my own personal experience, when I don't leave room for God, when I am not seeking Him, when I'm not seeking the kingdom, when I'm not seeking His face, when I'm not seeking, like, what do you need, God? When I'm not surrendering, when I'm not at His feet, when I'm not worshiping, when I'm not communicating with Him in prayer, when I start distancing myself, I start to wither. You know, when I when you unplug or distance yourself from a source, from the source, which is God, the power starts going. So, for example, you're at home and you have Wi-Fi. You sit on the porch, you still have Wi-Fi. You get in your car, your Wi-Fi starts getting a little weak. You pull down the driveway, your Wi-Fi starts to fade a lot. You go down the street, your Wi-Fi is gone, right? Not saying that you don't have data, but you don't have the strength of that power, you know? Saying, so like that can be applicable to when I distance myself from God. So think about it. Let's just take a pause. So for me, God is my source. I am a kingdom citizen. I love God with all of my heart. I will not become somebody's idol just because I'm doing good, just because I'm on assignment. I cannot become somebody's everything. I will not replace God in their life. I can't. I am a mere human. I make mistakes. I have attitudes. I might, inadvertently tell a story, you know. But God is a God who's loyal. He's there. He never leaves you. He never forsakes you. He cannot tell a lie. He'll be whatever you need when you need it. He is the I am. And so I don't want to be that. And those good plants, that is just an example of those good plants choking out your seeds of assignment. And wow. So I have some harvesting to do. Interesting. And me and my husband has talked about it before, and he's understanding, and we've changed the narrative of that. And we've grown closer to God together, but there's some other lovies that I'm assigned to, that I love on, that I need to have some chit chats with. And the funny thing is it came up this weekend, but more so in a therapeutic way. And maybe that was just a warning sign for me. Yeah. Y'all, I walk through life with y'all. I literally will sit here and be talking and have revelations or have convictions. And I'm like, I need to change. Because I have an outline, I have notes of what I'm talking to y'all about. That's why you see me look down sometimes. But the fact of the matter is, when I start to flow, I've given this to God. I've given all of my social medias to God. I may not say Jesus and God in everything that I do, but I want to be a representative of Him. I'm still gonna laugh. I'm still gonna smile. I'm still gonna crack a joke or two. I'm still gonna have a little sarcasm in me. I am, but I'm that loving auntie type figure. That's how I see myself. Like, come here, let me talk to you. But I'm gonna be real, and I'm gonna love on you, and I'm gonna feed you. What do you want to eat? Make sure you're not hungry. I'm gonna share the knowledge that I have been blessed with, and I want to share the wisdom that I've asked for, because that's why I have it, to share it with others. Okay, let's get back to our notes. Ooh, honey. Overcrowding creates exhaustion. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. When you get depleted as a person and you just have nothing left, you have nothing left. That is a rest that you cannot reset that easily. Like, that's a tiredness. That's a type of exhaustion that sleep just doesn't touch like it needs to. I mean, you still wake up exhausted every day, and it's because, for me, in my life experiences, I'm far from the source. Okay? I'm getting weak because I'm not plugged into the source every day, You may not have to plug in your phone every day to your charger, but hey, after a while, that thing gonna get weak and it's gonna die. And in using me in that example, it may not be a physical death, but that spirit dies. That twinkle in your eye gets gone. You don't want to. Some people don't want to be here anymore. They're tired. They're exhausted, and because they're not connected to the source. Right? God gives us resources, but you have to understand that means that that's just something from the source. Right? It's not the source. Your job is not your source. Your kids are not your source. They bring you happiness. They bring you amazing memories. They bring you so much love, but they're not the source of your life. They can't be. That's too much pressure on them. That's so much pressure, and especially for my moms that are in that transitional period to where you have kids that are getting married and y'all have had such a great relationship, and somehow you kind of feel like, I'm losing my child, and that's have that feeling. Have a conversation with your child, because if you are that close to your child to where you feel like you're going to lose your child because they're getting married or they're going off to college, have that conversation and put some things in place to where you have those talks. You make sure that we talk every week at a certain time, or you come and visit every quarter, depending on how far you are. And if you're married, have Sunday dinners, or Monday brunches. I don't know. Whatever works for you and your child, but just know that that can be a lot of pressure when you are coming to them saying, I feel like I'm going to lose you, because they have to choose between their life and your feelings. And they love you so much that that's a hard choice. And it's not that they want to um, leave you, but things are changing. Things are transitioning. And transition is difficult because we don't know what that's going to look like on the other side. And that's why it's so difficult. And that's why it's so challenging. And that's why that little anxiety and the fear comes, because we don't know what that looks like. We've never been at this point before. Not with this child. So I understand that. And you have to realize that God is your source. He will help you even through this. Even through this, He will help you. So when gardens are overcrowded, nutrients are stretched, roots are start to compete. You start to compete with the roots, and growth slows. Okay. In life, overcrowding may look like constant exhaustion. The one I was just talking about, decision fatigue. Like you're so tired of making decisions. Can somebody else just decide? Please, for the love of Pete Nan, decide. And then you may feel like you're pulled in so many directions. And that's because something has to be pruned, and not in a bad way. Maybe you just have to have a harvest, you know? Maybe you have to have a garden reset. Every 7 years in the Bible, like they were resetting their crops, resetting the soil to bring back the nutrients that's been depleted. And not that they didn't have great harvests, and not that what was depleting them was bad. It was just like your soil needs that renewal. So you have to thin out those plants sometimes. They remove even the good plants so that the strong ones can thrive and survive. In life, sometimes that means saying no, releasing roles. Start delegating. That's what releasing roles is. I'm talking to myself. Start delegating. Welcome to my talk. But start delegating. Start outsourcing those things that other people can do for you. Start protecting your focus. Like I have a list. Oh, it's too far away. But I have a list that I'm working on now, closing the loops. There's so many. There's a lot of, this is like seven or eight projects that I've started that I just need to finish, close those loops, because those loops are driving me loopy. I need to finish those things. I need to come to a place where things are being completed and I can mark them off so that I can get to the next phase of things. It's funny because I had a talk with God, and let me he be clocking me. So I've been like, God, I've been obedient. I've been doing this. Can you please? Can you please? Just break me off some finances. Y'all, I'm not I never, if y'all can see, I'm never gonna hungry. By force. That's just by choice sometimes, by busyness, whatever. But I haven't missed a meal by, force. I have a roof over my head. I have people that provide things for me. I have the greatest part-time job ever. I have the greatest business that I'm building. We're in building stages again, so it's not as lucrative as it's going to be. So I'm like, God, what are we doing? Can I have a little piece of something? Can I have a little extra something, just to cushion out things, to just make it not so tight, right? So that I'm not making $20 life decisions. That means that I'm standing at a purchase that's less than $20, and I'm like, okay, if I put this on this, what is going to happen in the next 3 weeks? Like, this is the these are the things that I think about. So I'm like, God, can I have a little bit of cushion, right? And in America, you do your taxes, and I'm like, okay, tax time, but I was good. I was good with my money this year, because the simple fact is, if you have a business, you want to be able to pay taxes. That means you made something. You did pretty good, right? So at the end of the year, if I got to pay tax to the government, I've set that money aside. I'm good to go. As a W-2 employee, I always say single zero, because I want the most back at one time. Now that's just me. So I pay the most taxes during the year. That's just me. Thought I was gonna get a pretty penny, and that's what I got. It was pretty, and it was like a penny, you know. So that's that. Grateful that I didn't have to pay, of course. However, I'm like, God, just a little piece of cushion. And he was like, what you want it for? And so I was naming all these things. And I'm like, okay, and why is business, like, why is it so slow? Like, why is the building phase so slow? He's like, I'm preparing you. And we hear that a lot. But I'm like, God, I'm prepared. Like, we've been doing this for years. What? He said, have you looked at you? I was like, okay, wait a minute. Shots fired. Like, what? And it's like mindset. And yes, the growth has been there. Exponential growth, if I had to say so myself, which I will, because I was a hot mess, and not to the point where you would see it. It's just like my mindset on things, my perfectionism, my control issues, and I'm like, okay, so I've stopped. I was every day praying the prayer in the morning. God, I surrender this day to you. And I really meant it. Like, I don't, mm-mm. We've been doing this for a while. And evidently the way I'm doing it is not getting me the outcomes that I need. So I surrender all of it to you. We're just going to do your plan. We're going to work your plan. Right. And so I felt like I've been working that, but there's still some mindsets that I go to, some thoughts that I should not be my initial thoughts. And it's not horrible, but it's like when money get a little too tight, my mind starts like, okay, how can we make more money? It doesn't go to God first and be like, okay, God, what are we showing? You know, first of all, gratitude, right? That I even have money in the first place, that I have a place to stay, clothes, car, gas, even with the world going crazy, super peace, you know, one wonderful husband, amazing husband, a great father, people around me that love me and care for me. I have the most beautifulest babies that I did not have to birth, and God placed them in my life, and they are growing, they are thriving, they are having kids of their own, and then my little ones are growing and thriving. I love to see them, you know, growing up. And then my first goddaughter, she's getting married. I got other godchildren that are just flourishing, and I'm just thankful that God has given me those babies to be in those babies' lives. And so all these things, that's what my go-to thought should be. Not how to make money, not going on YouTube and how to sell digital products. It's like, no, girl, you have 20, like you have like 5 or 6 digital products. If they're not selling by now, that's not the season where you're supposed to be in. Go to God first. And I truly believe that in my heart. And I don't ever want y'all to feel like I am bashing you if you don't believe in God, if you're not a kingdom citizen. I am not, because I just want to share my life experiences so that you can see how this life is, the good and the challenging, and the things that we celebrate, and the peace that we have, and the calmness, and then those days that we just kind of fall apart a little bit. I want to share all that with you so that you can have a clear idea of what this walk with Christ is, what this relationship with Christ is. So you're going to see, I'm going to share as much as I'm allowed to, okay? There are some things that I have to run through my husband first, because they may involve him, and he's not big on social media, but he knows what I do, and that's how he met me, and he's so funny. He's so funny. He'll be like, you said that? I'm like, yeah. I'm sharing with the lovies. Like, they need to know these things. Because I feel like I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. And I may be going through something, or have some questions, or maybe can answer some questions that somebody was asking, and it may help. My only thing is bringing glory to God, bringing people back to God, to say, hey, whatever El Marie got, I kind of like that. That makes sense to me. I always heard people talking about Jesus in the Bible, but I never understood it until El Marie broke down the kingdom for us in the kingdom series, or broke down how self-discovery and God works hand in hand. And that's the outcome. That's what I want the outcome to be. I want to build a community that can actually serve each other. I don't have to be the one driving the bus, as long as you get to your destination. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my notes. I don't know how we got there, but it must have been needed. Okay, so assignment requires space. So going back to overcrowded gardens, assignments grow best when there is clarity, margin for error, focus, intentional living. So your garden must have room to grow. Your garden must have room to grow. And in every season, your garden may be looking a little different because the seasons in our lives, they can become new. You may get a new plant in the garden, or an okay, let me put it this way: the seed that's been growing roots, because we all know roots before fruit. Okay, you may not have seen any sign of life, and all of a sudden you start seeing a little leaf or a little flower. You're like, oh, that's coming up. What is that? That looks interesting. And so, because that new one is coming up, maybe we have to trim the old one. Maybe we have to take out another one. Oh, yeah, sorry. Maybe we have to take out another plant that served us so well in the past seasons, that there's something new coming up that you may need in that garden. Yeah. Yeah, so don't be afraid to prune. Don't be afraid to pluck up, and just have discernment and talk to God, like, what are we doing in this season? What do I need to let go of in this season? What are the things in my garden that served me well last season, but you're not going to use them this season? They don't need to grow in this season. What is that? What is that I need to trim? What is that I need to prune out of the garden? That may not be a weed, but maybe it was a plant of assignment, and that particular part of the assignment is finished, and that plant is no longer needed. It served us so well, and we're so grateful for it. However, we got new plants coming up that we need in our next season of life. So please have discernment. Think about what in your life is crowding the garden that God gave you. Because not everything that is growing belongs there. All right. Remember, in a world full of chaos, always focus on the good. Until next time, toodles.